Hey guys, what's up? Today I wanted to do a quick 2-year review on my Kubota ZD 1211 72-inch cut deck. It's been a pretty good machine for the past few years, and we're going on year number 3 with it now. I really don't have many complaints about it. There are a couple little niggles that it's got that you need to be aware of. But anyways, let's get into it. I'm going to show you guys how to change the blades on this and show you how to do simple maintenance like greasing certain areas every time before you use the machine. That'll help you extend the life of your parts. So anyways, let's get into it. Now the first thing I want to talk about are your grease points. You want to grease every single blade axle. Fittings are right there on top. This one's a little harder to find. It's right down here by the gearbox. It's right there. Also, you have grease fittings on your drive shaft that goes down to the gearbox right there, and you've got another one on the opposite end. You really do have grease fittings everywhere. There's another one right there. You've got another one on this tensioner pulley. Then you've got another one right there on top of that blade shaft. Like I said, those blade shafts, they're the ones that really need to be greased every time before you run these things, because they pick up a lot of dust, a lot of dirt. It gets nasty under there, and that's actually pretty clean to what it normally is, compared to what it normally is. The main issue I was having was this anti-scalp roller coming off while I was mowing and getting sucked right under the deck and torn up. You can actually see that notch the blades cut out of that shaft the last time it happened. Stock, they come with these ring pins. The problem with these ring pins is you can get ivy or barbed wire up underneath them. It'll lift them up and pull them out. So that's why we now have a grade 8 bolt with a nylon lock nut holding this assembly together now. If that comes off, we've got issues. I've got more to worry about. The other issue I'm having is my deck height adjustment keeps falling as I'm mowing. So I can set it to 2 inches, and about 10 to 15 minutes later, if I'm on some rough ground, it'll drop all the way down to 1.5 to 1.25. So that's not very good, and I do not know what's causing it. But if it keeps on doing it, I'm going to have to take it in to get it serviced. I love the fact that the rollover protector can fold down. We've got some low-hanging trees, and especially the cedar trees there, and I don't like getting bathed with cedar nettle every time I go underneath one branch. Fuel lids are an easy thing to forget about putting back on after refueling. I don't know why. My neighbor's got a ZD 331, I think it is, or 333, and he does the same thing. He just forgets to put his caps on half the time too. So not a big deal, but it does get your tanks pretty dirty. So that is one improvement they made on this machine over his. On his machine, you would have to get way up underneath the seat assembly and all that to get to the fuel filters. On this one, the filters are right there. They're super easy to get to, which is nice of Kubota to do. The seat itself is a great ride, super comfortable, super soft. I can mow for 6 hours straight if I have to, and my back doesn't hurt or anything. Very, very, very well done seat. I used to complain about the armrest. They used to squeeze on my sides real bad, but I'm starting to lose a little weight now, so that's not so much of an issue anymore. The very first thing you want to do is make sure that your parking brake is engaged. So now let's get into the fun part and change these blades. Line up the right hand, the discharge side front wheel. It's got a hole right here on top. There's a hole right here as well. You line those holes up, come over here to the front, lift that up, take out a pin, and drop it down in there. If it doesn't want to drop all the way down, just come over here, grab your wheel, shimmy it around until that pin drops all the way. Take your other pin out. And take the jack arm off. Now it's time to crank on the jack. Once you finish jacking it up, take your other pin, slide it in this hole right here. You'll notice here we've got a bunch of junk, a bunch of dead grass caked up on the bottom side of the deck. I'll go ahead and scrape that off first before we get to putting on the new blades. That's a lot of junk. A lot of that is excess grease from the blades. Now you want to get an impact wrench with a 30mm impact socket. Bust these bolts off. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and put our new blades back on. And the way we do that, you notice we had these cups mounted over the shaft here. Well, if you do like I did when you took everything apart, parts just go everywhere. So, here's the correct order. You want to get this part, get it a little cleaner of course, drop it flat side down inside of the cup. Then slide it up to your shaft. The next piece is the blade itself. And here's where it gets tricky. After the blade, you've got these two washers. And you'll notice that they're concave convex. They're not flat. Put the concave side facing the blade. Then you've got another piece. Looks like this. Go ahead and put the smaller diameter piece in first. Till you feel it go all the way in. Now you can take your bolt and start screwing that into the main axle shaft there. Get it good and hand tight. Hit it with the good old impact wrench. till it snugs up. You're good to go. You keen-eyed viewers will probably notice on this shaft there was no cup. That's because a lot of times these cups, they get damaged really easy. Rock, stick, whatever. They're super thin and they just they break really easy. I didn't run this cup all last summer and it did just fine. So I'm really not too worried about it. So anyways, let's go ahead and put these other 2 blades on and we'll see how she cuts.